Even though it happened 7 years ago, I try to block it out of my memory. I still remember it clearly. My brother Rick and I were going camping in the woods. I was 15 at the time, and my brother Rick was 17. We weren't going anywhere in particular. We just wanted to explore the woods and set up camp where and whenever we felt like it. We didn't know where we were going, so we couldn't tell anyone where we would be. That was a stupid mistake. But as teenagers, we didn't think about things like that. We just wanted to go on an adventure before school started in 3 weeks. At least we left little marks in the trees like bright red ribbons occasionally, so we would be able to find our way out again. We were completely clueless. We were 4 days into our trip when we saw a dirty lake. It was brown, gross, and smelt terrible. "Let's set up camp here," Rick said. "Ooh, it smells like crap. Let's keep going," I spoke. "But I want to swim in it," Rick complained. "Why the hell would you want to swim in that?" I asked. "Maybe we'll find treasure under there," he replied with mischievous gleam in his eyes. "Dirty water holds the secrets." If only he had known how right he was. It was getting dark anyways, and we had been walking for 3 hours straight. I set down my backpack and sat down. Rick made a little fire pit with rocks and started a fire with the matches we had. We cooked hot dogs and then set up our tent. I was so tired from walking, I fell asleep in 20 seconds. The next day, me and my brother decided to take a walk in the woods. Suddenly, Rick ran away from me laughing. "Wait, Rick," I shouted after him. I dropped my backpack and chased after him. Eventually, I caught up with him. He was standing next to the dirty lake. Rick was staring at the water. "Rick!" Rick turned to me with a big smile on his face. Rick said, "Let's go swimming." Rick was staring at the water. "Why do you look so scared?" he asked me jokingly, and then took off his shirt. He turned back to the lake and got ready to dive in. "Wait, maybe we should pack up camp and keep going," he yelled wimp as he was diving into the water. A moment later, he reached his hand up and started struggling in the water. "Rick!" I screamed and ran towards him. He started laughing. "Dude, you should have seen your face." He started swimming further out into the lake. "Come on, Sam, relax," he said, annoyed. So, I started to calm down a bit. Rick eventually stopped swimming and started treading water. Before I could say something, he dived under the water. Rick came up again. "I think there's a hand under there," he said. "Sure," I replied sarcastically. "No, I'm serious. I'll go get it." He dove under again. I sighed. Rick came up screaming. "Dude, stop playing," I shouted at him, rolling my eyes. He started swimming back to me so fast, as if his life depended on it. When he reached the shore, his eyes were full of fear. "Rick," I stammered nervously. I grabbed his arm and pulled him out of the lake onto the shore. He laid on the ground, shaking and muttering something I couldn't hear. I knelt beside my brother. I was almost shaking as much as him. I slowly lowered my ear above his mouth. He was muttering nonsense. I don't remember all of what he was saying, but some of the things I do remember were phrases. There were so many. Their skin was peeling. Their eyes. "Help me." I heard something coming out of the lake. My heart stopped beating. I somehow managed to pick up Rick's shaking body, wrap his arm around my shoulders, and drag him through the woods. It was getting harder to keep going. I heard footsteps behind us. I sped up. I saw a rock cave and stumbled towards it. I set down Rick, breathing heavily. I heard footsteps chasing in the distance, but I had a little time to catch my breath before starting again. "Rick," I said desperately, shaking him. For a moment, Rick seemed to snap back into reality. He looked me in the eyes and said clearly, "There's so many bodies." The way he said it made chills run down my spine. His eyes rolled back in his head, and he started chanting, these dreaded words. Come here! Come here! Come here! Come here! Everything around here is fuzzy, but what I do remember is Rick springing up and lunging at me, hearing those footsteps coming closer, and running. I knew I had already lost Rick to the monsters now inside him, but I still felt like I was killing him. I ran faster. Tears were streaming down my face. I somehow managed to get out of the woods alive. Apparently, farmers found me on their land, shaking and mumbling about bodies. No one ever believed what happened to me. Police said they found Rick's body, with proof that an animal had killed him. They also said they took samples from around where we were camping. They could only find animal fur and no one else's DNA. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. That's why I'm writing this from a mental hospital. But I know it wasn't an animal that killed Rick, and I hope you guys believe me when I tell you that it was the bodies in the lake. If you liked the video, don't forget to drop a like down below and consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Thanks for watching.